personal coach, and we are doing the book review for The Courage to Be Disliked. And we are going to talk about the first chapter, the first night, first part, the book in this continuing series. Right, so let's get into it, and uh, we'll try to understand the different concepts of the book. The first thing that we need to understand from this just to the book, the first part of the book is the concept of subjective thing, right? Subjectivity. It means life is subjective. It isn't the same for everyone, and the author explains it in a very scientific way. Let me tell you the example, um, which is the temperature of a well. The temperature of the water in the well is 18 degrees centigrade, right? That's the average temperature of the water in the well. Now, if you taste that water in summer, it's cooler, right? It's cool water. But if you this is the same water in winter, it's warmer. So the water isn't changing, is the same, the temperature is the same. However, our subjective experience is changing, and that's exactly how life is. So you would see things from different perspectives, just like just like summer and winter, and that's the concept that the author is trying to bring in this. And we see that in everyday's life, isn't it? I mean, it's not something. Just imagine, forget about others. If you see an incident from one perspective, today you can see that from one perspective and say, for example, you tried for a job, you gave an interview, and you did not get it. The moment you come out of it, there would be frustration. There would be, that why didn't they select me? I was good enough, and these people are biased, so and so forth. There are so many things that goes through our mind, and we see this incident as a setback. That we could have gone there in that corporation or organization, and we could have make an impact, or our life generally gets a setback. Now I have to try harder for another interview, so on and so forth. Now imagine that you have gone through that hard work again, and you got into a very good company now, very good organization now. Now you would look back and say that particular interview would say, oh, thank God I didn't get there. Now I'm in a much better position. Now my career trajectory is different. Now my growth is different, or vice versa, right? So, or even if I'm not that successful, right? In terms of money or whatever, still I would say I would not be that disappointed that I was that day, right? Because our perspective to life changes according to the situation around us, right? So that's very important to see things in a subjective way. It's not very objective, right? What was objective? The temperature of the the water, right? It was 18 degrees. That was objective. But the how you felt it, whether it's a cool water or a warm water, it was a subjective experience, not objective experience. And that's what life is. Whatever happens, it happens. That's an objective thing. But how do you perceive it? That's a subjective thing. It depends on every individual. It depends on individual's condition at this moment, right? And it changes as the day passes. So you need to understand that. So that brings us to a very important subject, which the authors tried to address in their own way. Will not go into details, but the thing is, they talk about in the first night, they talk about trauma. Now, the trauma is something, and why we say trauma, and why did we introduce the concept of subjectiveness is because of that, right? What is trauma? Trauma is the incident that happened. Whatever the incident, whatever. For example, I lose someone close. That's a trauma. I went through a health crisis. That's a trauma, right? I didn't get a job or whatever. These are all trauma. These are all objective things, isn't it? but the experience that we will have is subjective. So there is no trauma. Only thing is the subjective experience of trauma. Now it depends on us. How do we, and that doesn't mean that it's nihilism, where you just say, there is nothing in this world, everything is meaningless, we don't have any principles and all that. It doesn't mean that you don't really have emotions, you don't really feel bad. It's not that. It's about you mature with any of these trauma, right, or any of these incidents, and you keep changing your perspectives. You do not hold on to this, and that's how the concept of teleology comes, where it means it's not cause and effect, it's not deterministic approach that because of this trauma I don't do such things, because I was bullied in childhood I don't go out. That's a deterministic approach, right? Intelligence says I don't go out because I don't really want to, and I use all these things as my subjective excuses that if I go I'll be bullied. All I'm lacking is the courage. It's not the courage to go and face the bullies, but the courage to be what I want to be, right? I don't have that courage. It's not about the competence. Everybody has a competence. It's about the courage to go and face, right? Go and enjoy the sun, go and enjoy the snow, whatever it is. It's about that courage, right? So, and that is something that it holds us back. Now, this takes us to a different tangent of emotions as well. How about anger? Anger is one of the most common emotion that we face. Now, according to this approach, it is it's like we fabricate these emotions. For example, anger. How and why? For example, if you are in a restaurant and somebody just pushes you back, right? And you shout in anger. Now, why are you shouting? Because you want to be heard. So you are shouting because you want to be heard. It's not that you are shouting because of anger. You are shouting because you want to be heard. That's why you are expressing the emotion of anger, right? And these fabrications, it's not that you do it intentionally, of course not, right? It's still a choice. For example, I'll give you an example. You are angry, you are talking to a friend, and you are fighting, you're quarreling, and you're in between a fight, right? And there is all kind of shouting and throwing and everything going on, and suddenly you get a call from your boss. Now, and you have to pick. You know that you cannot just really miss the call from your boss. Would you shout on phone? You'd probably not. You would just calm down, talk to your boss, get the purpose done. Yeah, boss, I'll call you later. Maybe give me 5 minutes, give me 10 minutes. I'm in between something, I'm doing something. Can you give me some time? You'll disconnect the call and then shout again. Right? So that means you can control. It's just that you are not choosing to control. Right? So you are choosing to be angry. That's why you are angry. So anger is something that you are you are experiencing. It's not that you're shouting because of anger, because you want to shout. So you are also you are using the emotion of anger to do that. It is like the Socrates Paradox, right? Where you know that anger is not good, but you still get angry. You know that being unhappy is not the way you want to live, but still somehow you convince yourself that I should be unhappy, I deserve to be unhappy, I am unhappy, right? This is not because that you lack the competence to be happy. You just don't have that courage to be happy. You don't have the courage to not be angry, right? So it's a choice that you are making, It's not because some cause. It's not some cause that affecting, and that is something, that is a choice that you have to make every day, every second. And it's not that it comes just like that. It comes with this awareness, the consciousness, and that whatever you are doing is a choice. Today, if you are doing something out of habit and you blame it on your past, for 1 second, just stop and say, okay, I don't blame my past. Let me do this. Right? That's the courage that you need, because that's what is driving your present. Your past does not hold you, right? You hold on to your past. So you have to come out of it and make a choice. Be courageous enough to make that choice, to do that. If you do that, your life would be different from now on. Right? One step towards that direction, and your life would be completely different. I hope you are with me so far. So we covered the concepts of the first night, but there are much more interesting thing coming up in second, third, fourth, and fifth night. And I'll see you soon.